Well, as Oracle lifts AI hopes with its blowout revenue forecast, CEO Safra Catz highlights cloud revenue will skyrocket thanks to a big jump in bookings. Meanwhile, co-founder and chief technology officer Larry Ellison is reaping the benefits of Oracle's spotlight in the AI revolution. For a closer look at Oracle's position in the AI infrastructure leaderboard, let's get now to Patrick Moorhead, Moor Insights and Strategy, CEO and chief analyst. Patrick, it is great to see you. So let's get right to the stock move here, Patrick, which is remarkable. It's up nearly 40% in today's trade. What do you make of that move, Patrick? In your opinion, is it justified?
So first of all, it's unprecedented. I mean, you've got a very large public company to begin with. And sure, we see these pops when somebody's doing their first IPO or there's an acquisition, but a company that was worth this much last week, and then you see what they're worth today, it is unprecedented. And if you take that 400 and change billion dollar to the bank of OCI revenue at reasonable margins, yes, the stock pop does absolutely does make sense.
Let me ask you, Patrick, how are Larry Ellison and Safra Catz, how are they doing this exactly? You know, as they compete with the cloud giants, what are they bringing to the table that's different? What are their competitive advantages?
Yeah, so as we've seen, being first doesn't always mean you can't get in on it. I mean, Apple was probably the 10th person to get into smartphones, and look at where they are today. And I think when Oracle said it was going to go big into infrastructure, I think everybody did a gigantic eye roll because it looked like it would be lower margin profile than their current business, and also takes an incredible amount of capex. But what Oracle did, and only I think Larry could do, is convince the board to go all in on capex with some gigantic investments. He also came in and he just didn't say, you know, hey, we're going to copy what somebody else did. He came in with a brand new architecture to be able to make that happen in a unique and differentiated way.
In terms of where all this business is coming from, Patrick, I don't know if you saw this. The Journal is reporting that Sam Altman's OpenAI signed what sounds here like just a massive contract. They're saying $300 billion in computing power over about 5 years from Oracle. What do you make of that? I mean, that has to be one of the biggest cloud contracts ever.
It was, and yesterday after their earnings, that was my assessment, that this was likely OpenAI, some pass-through, some Microsoft, and maybe even some XAI. So I think OpenAI is a very large customer of theirs. And this is all part of this Stargate project that was discussed and announced at the White House a few months back.
Let me ask you another question. I'm sure top of mind for investors right now. They're trying to figure out, Patrick, what do you think the margin profile of Oracle Cloud could look like long term? As a tech analyst, you're modeling that out. What do you see?
Yeah, so right now, it's not necessarily about the lowest cost. So I do think OpenAI and even some of the pass-through for Microsoft and Azure comes at a very good premium. Is it 40% like AWS's businesses? Probably not, but I think it's pretty safe to say that it's 35% net operating margin. And over time, as being there with the capabilities, having the power, having the space, as those go away, I think the margin potentially reduces. But there is some value, some staying power that you have your AI applications sitting on OCI, and they're not just going to evaporate. So they wouldn't do this without a good profile, but I don't think that it's going to be industry leading because a lot of it's passed through at this point.
What about cash flow on the kind of backlog we're talking about here?
No, I mean, cash flow is absolutely incredible on something like this. And that's the story, which is what's the net cash that says this is going to be spitting out here. And I think as we get more clarity on what the margin profile is on that 400 and so billion-dollar investments over multiple years, we're going to start to see that a lot more clearly. One of the things, though, I want to reinforce is that this does come down to it's less about cost, it's less about price. It's having it today. It's time to market. And some people are willing to pay a premium on there because what we're looking at is this once in a decade share shift position and dollars moving from different buckets and new dollars being created. I think this is the motivation that OpenAI has that says we have to be in front, ahead of the pack, leading everybody. We need to have that locked in to not only push away the competitors, but to get developers locked into us, to get governments and enterprises that are locked into us. And it's very hard to get out once you're locked in.
As a longtime analyst, Patrick, I'm curious, how much credit do you give to Larry Ellison specifically for this success?
Without Larry, none of this would have happened. I mean, listen, it takes a village, and the team is excellent on the OCI side. Safra is making it happen as well. But Larry's one of the last founder CEOs that are out there. And as we've seen, him and people like Michael Dell and even Mark Benioff are able to do things inside of companies that others can't. Given that Larry owns so much of Oracle, he has extra sway as you would expect there. But he had to go in and pitch a software company, do the pitch on going bigger in infrastructure than almost any other company on the planet, and they could be easily a top 4 hyperscaler when the smoke has cleared here, maybe even number 3 out there, which if you'd have asked somebody 3 years ago, they would have said there's a 0% chance that would have been Oracle.
Final question, Patrick. Listen, the stock is surging. It's a great day for Oracle investors. It's a great day for Oracle bulls. It's a great day for Larry Ellison and Safra Catz. But we should also, of course, keep in mind the risks. As you think about the risks for the long-term investor for Oracle, what would they be?
Well, I think the first thing is let's look at this is more of a macro risk, which is how long does this build out continue? I feel very comfortable that the next 18 months or 24 months, this is going to look good. I feel very comfortable with the database as a service. I mean, Larry's database won, and that database and his infrastructure is actually being put into the top hyperscalers that are out there. I think we should keep our eyes on margins. I don't know what the margins, I know what they should be. I have a hunch, which we just talked about, which they should be, but what are they actually going to be, and how is that bake into the forecast? I would like to see Oracle doing more with agents. They have a very strong enterprise SaaS platforms. In fact, they have 2. One that's on-prem, actually two, one for high-end enterprise and one for more of the mid-market. I'd like to see more about how they are addressing agentic workflows that cut across horizontally. And quite frankly, this is the biggest risk with companies right now, like Salesforce, like Adobe, like Workday, that they're just getting hammered out there in the marketplace right now.
With the stock up 37% right now. Patrick, as always, my friend, great to see you. Thank you.